Hey, I recognize you. Good to see you back. I'm going to take a moment now to read some of the questions and comments from my waste oil burner video of my original one, and hopefully clear a few things up. And if you guys have any more questions after this, put them in the comments. I'd like to do one of these again whenever I can. Let's scroll through some of these here. Wayne Goff says, put a small blower on it. It'll go like stink. Run an airline from your compressor. Wayne, that is in effect a good idea, because adding more air to your mix is an excellent way to get more heat. The issue with my system though is with an open Swiss cheese pipe heading up to everything, I need draw to suck that air in. Otherwise, and I'll show you real quick what happens if there's a positive force of air on here. With positive airflow, you get this. You see that? Fire goes everywhere. So you really need that fire and air being sucked up into your chimney, into your flue, and that's what a good chimney does, and that's how it gets its airflow. I could do a system like that if I rebuilt the whole thing and sealed it up better. You just got to make sure you don't have any openings, which is the complete opposite of how I have mine set up right now. It's just all openings. No openings with a positive pressure system, because you'll end up with flames shooting out every direction. Good question though, and thanks for watching. What else we got here? This is from Rock and Roll French Fries. I got an idea so you don't have to slide the pot sideways. Drill some holes around the top of the pot. That's a good idea, and that's something I should have taken into account before I put everything together. It's in a position right now that I can't actually drill any more holes in it without one of those, I guess, compact, small, sideways drills. And when you're drilling into a rotor, you really need to be able to use your a drill press. Those things are thick. But I could definitely benefit from more holes in that and more breathability. Like I said in my last video, I'm not a fan of having to shimmy it sideways. It doesn't look like it's set up right that way, in my opinion. So yeah, it does need some more holes. I just welded it up a little too tight that I don't feel like cutting it loose again. I'm in the point where I'm just going to deal with it right now. And I guess so be it, right? Next question. Paul Rogers has two questions. Do you have your oil coming into the burn pan as a drip or a small steady stream? Good question, Paul. Mine is set up so that I can meter the amount of fuel going in as needed by a valve. I got one right here, actually, I can show you. There you go. It's a needle valve. This is it. This one happens to be 1/4 inch, but the one I have installed in the line is 3/8. And I can adjust the flow using that. But what I've discovered more recently is I need to start it by dumping a lot of oil in there to begin with. When I first get it going, I put a mix of half diesel and half waste oil in there, probably about a 1/2 inch thick. And you don't need that much to actually get it going, but what I found is the more the better, because oil doesn't burn. What? Yeah, no, oil burns, but not in oil form as I have in this container here. Oil vapor burns. So you need a source of heat to get that oil turned to vapor before it can burn completely, or even at all. And I'll give you an example right now. Shimmy some stuff over. So this is just a little Tupperware container with oil in it. Used oil. And here's a match. And here's an extinguished match, because oil in liquid form does not burn. Actually, let's take it a step further. Nothing. See, it starts to smoke and steam and smell real bad, but just holding a flame on it won't get it to ignite. You'd have to really keep the heat going for a while there. Oh, I melted a little bit of my container here. Let's put that away. Circling back to your question, Paul, the reason you want to get as much oil in there to begin with as possible is because as you're adding oil, you're cooling the oil that's already in there. And the oil needs to heat up and percolate to provide more oil vapor. An example of this would be if you had a pot boiling on a stove and you just had it to the point where it's just barely boiling, and you start adding room temperature water to it real slowly, about the same speed as my drip there, you're gonna realize that you're gonna cause an effect on that boil. It's gonna slow down, maybe even stop. You're cooling the entire pot of water, and you're losing that boil. In the case of oil, you need that percolation, that boil, to get the vapor going, because that's what's burning. So the more oil I start with, the more oil I can get in there quickly, then I can really slow down the amount of oil I'm adding to the pot. And let's say by the 10 or so minute mark, I've got 2 inches of oil in the bottom of that pot. That 2 inches is going to sit and burn off slowly, but it's going to get hotter and hotter and hotter, and it's going to bubble and percolate quicker. Then I'm going to have a much hotter burning stove, and that's good for startup, because I don't keep this shop heated all the time, only while I'm in here, and I need heat coming as quick as possible. I hope that explains it in a way that makes sense. I'm not the best facilitator when it comes to explaining science, I guess. The next question asked by Paul is, do you get any smoke or exhaust stink coming out of the Swiss cheese pipe? And to answer that, no. No, not at all, because when you have a good working solid chimney and a good hot flue, air is being drawn into it. So all those holes in the Swiss cheese you're seeing there, air is being sucked in, and there's no chance for smoke to be coming out. In fact, you can see by the way that the fire tapers upwards, that there's, as you go up every level of hole, there's more and more air being pulled in to help direct the swirl of the fire, and the more you get mixed in it, the better complete burn you have, the less smoke you have coming out of the top of your chimney, and the hotter a burn you can get. So no smoke, no exhaust coming out where it shouldn't be, as long as you have a good setup, a good working chimney. What else we got here? I saw a 6.5 turbo diesel intake manifold for a fraction of a second. You like 6.5s? Mine's completely built. Yes, I do have a 6.5 diesel. I think it's in a couple of the videos I've got posted already. One where I'm crushing a toaster oven. And there's another one just of the exhaust. I hope to get some more done of it later on, but currently the injection pump is being rebuilt. This Stanadyne DV2 finally went on me. Getting off topic completely. I welcome any more questions you guys have about my oil burner. Every time I use it, I try to learn something new about it without getting any too risky. Everything within the confines of safety, especially when you're dealing with flammables in a confined area. So thanks for watching BogieWheelz. I'm going to try to make as many videos about stuff like this as I can. I'm going to try to make a video every time I make an update on the waste oil burner of mine. Give us a subscribe if you're interested in that sort of thing, or give me a thumbs up if you're a fan of this mustache. Yeah, look at this thing. It's not going to be around for much longer. Happy December.
You're watching BogieWheelz.